Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can make a beat from scratch. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, please leave a like. I would really appreciate it. But yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so I'm going to be working within FL Studio today. But even if you're working in any other sort of DAW, such as Logic or Pro Tools, you can still take the same kind of techniques and methods I'm using within this video and transfer them over to your DAW. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into this beat. So when you open up FL, this is going to be the blank template that you see right here. So yeah, the very first step that I take when making beats is pick my very first instrument. So depending on the type of beat I'm making, it could be a guitar, it could be piano, it could be synth, anything you want to use, you can use right in here. So within FL Studio, where you get your instruments is over here on the left in this section right here. If you don't see this when you open your FL and you see something similar to this, all you have to do is click this little button up here in the middle right here, and it should pull that up. And then usually I like to minimize the main track area right here so that I have all my instruments on the side right here and then the tracks right here in the middle. So yeah, at first it's going to display these four bass instruments right here. 808 kick, 808 clap, 808 hi-hat, and 808 snare. Right now, I'm not going to be using any of these, so I'm going to delete them. To delete an instrument, just right-click on it and then go down to delete. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to click this little plus icon underneath where your instruments are displayed, and then this is going to pull up all my plugins right here. So whichever instrument suits you, you should pick that, but I'm going to start this one out with Flex, and then I'm just going to go click on the All button right here, so this will show me all the sounds within Flex, and then I'm just going to play through them and kind of decide what instrument I want to use. Okay, so I think I want to use this instrument called Royal right here within Flex. It's giving me a pretty cool sound, and yeah, I'm just going to try to create a melody with it. So I'm going to be using my MIDI keyboard, but another way to make melodies within FL Studio, and this is one of the reasons why FL Studio is so good for making beats like this, is the piano roll. So to get to the piano roll, what you can do is either right click on your instrument and then select the piano roll right here, or you can pull it up by clicking this icon right here in the top middle. It'll pull up the piano roll for whichever instrument you have selected. So since Royal is the only instrument over here, it's going to pull up the Royal piano roll. And as you can see, when I input the note on my keyboard, it shows up on the piano roll right there. Most of the time, if you're a real beginner, I would suggest starting out in the piano roll because everything is put right out in front of you and you can select the notes very easily with your mouse. So if I wanted to make a chord within the piano roll, all I would have to do is do at least like 3 notes right there, and I could just start out with an easy chord. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is before you start actually making the melody, you want to select your BPM, which stands for the beats per minute of the song. So that's how fast the tempo is. If you want to select your BPM by hand, you can click this little icon right here in the top middle and just tap your tempo. So I think I want mine about maybe 145-ish right there. So as you can see, I'm already creating melodies based off that one chord. So if you kind of have an ear for music and you can kind of figure out what sounds good, you can start creating melodies that way. I literally just selected 3 notes in here just like that and made sure they sounded good together when I played it, and then I just built off that. So I'm literally playing the same chord right here 4 times in a row. So now I'm just trying to figure out the second chord I want the song to go to. So I think I'm going to try this chord right here. So that would be just like that. And then I can select that and so that's literally all I did right there. 2 chords, super simple for the main bass melody. And you don't have to do this first, but this is just how I like to start out my beats. And I think it gives you a good base for the direction of your beat and what you should add next. Now next, building on the melody, I always like to add some sort of counter melody. So it can be with the same instrument, but I think I'm going to choose a different one. So I'm going to find one in here. I'm going to go into Citrus this time though, because I think they have a lot of good leads and other things like that. So I'm going to try to find something in here. Finding your instruments is always just a lot of trial and error, just kind of playing it on top of your bass melody and finding what sounds good to you. Okay, so maybe just a melody like that. So if I want to record something off of a MIDI keyboard, make sure you have the instrument you want to record selected right here. So I'm going to pull up the piano roll for that one. And then click this little red record button up at the top, kind of leftish right here, to actually start recording. And for counter melodies, I always like to make it something that doesn't necessarily match up with the chord. Now, layering melodies is also something that you can use, where you layer the chords of the song or layer a different melody with a different instrument. But a counter melody is going to be something that counters or differs from the main bass melody. So right here, when I'm trying to create this counter melody, I'm just kind of playing the main bass melody in my head and thinking of an idea of something that kind of sounds good. So I kind of hear something like this. Maybe something like that, pretty simple, but let's just lay that down. That's not necessarily the exact melody I wanted, but it is something that I can work with. So I'm going to come in here to the piano roll and mess with it until I like the way it sounds. So yeah, after kind of perfecting the melody and getting it to sound exactly the way I want, this is what I came up with right here. So just a very simple counter melody right here. And honestly, again, these are just a lot of trial and error and getting them to sound exactly the way you want to. So don't be afraid to mess around in here. It's going to take time to learn how to create these type of melodies, but the best way to do it is just by messing around in here and practicing. So feel free to do that. Now we can layer more instruments, and definitely feel free to do that. I think most beats sound better with lots of layers and different instruments on top of them. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to teach you the very basic components of making a beat. So the first two we've already done: bass melody, counter melody, and now we're going to move on to the drums and how to get that kind of bounciness to your beat. I'm going to start off with the clap, so I'm going to go over here to my drums more audio, and then I'm going to find a clap under this clap section right here. So just find any clap you like. You might have to search for a little bit. I'll just use the Attack Clap 1 for the purpose of this video. Basically, for any basic like trap sort of beat, you're going to want kind of a 2 and 4 type clap. So that means the clap will hit on the second beat and the fourth beat. So you can use the metronome to know when the clap should hit. So the second beat and the fourth beat. So I'm just going to put those notes in just like this. Okay, so I actually changed the sound of the clap right here because I wasn't liking how the other one sounded. So this is how it sounds now. Again, very simple right there, just a 2 and 4 clap beat to start off our drums. Next, we're going to be working with the hi-hat. So again, I'm going to go over here to drums more audio, and I'm going to find a hi-hat. I'm just going to try Attack Hat 1. And again, for any trap sort of beat right here, most of them use a 2-step hi-hat pattern. So what that means is for every beat, the hi-hat is going to hit 4 times. So to demonstrate that, I'm going to put 4 notes right here within the first beat, evenly spaced, just like this. And then just repeat that process for the rest of the melody. And now we have a full 2-step hi-hat pattern. And now you can stop here with your hi-hat. However, this is a very simple hi-hat, and sometimes it is good to add some more notes. So I'll show you how to do that. I'm just going to play the hi-hat melody and kind of select places where I think it could use another note. So let's just do that. So actually, I think right here at the beginning could use another note. Something like this right here. And as you can see right here, it is a different note. Sometimes it's cool to kind of differentiate the notes of your hi-hats. It gives the hi-hats a more dynamic feel, and I think it sounds cool. Okay, so after I added a couple of those simple notes right there, I'm just going to copy this over for the second half. Just like that. So now we're going to have the same thing in the first half and the second half. Now, feel free to experiment with this. Obviously, you don't have to use this exact pattern. The point of this is to kind of, again, use trial and error to get it to sound exactly the way you want it to. Now, moving on, we're going to be doing a kick right here. So I'm just going to find a kick that I like. Let's just use this one right here. And for the kick, most of the time, it's very important that you have it in a place where you want there to be power and emphasis on. So yeah, I'm going to definitely put it on the 1 beat. And then again, I'm just going to play the beat in kind of here where I think those notes should go. So I think I hear 2 notes maybe right here, just like this. Okay, so that's a very simple kick pattern right there. As you can see, those notes give the place you put them kind of an emphasis and a little bit more emotion. So let's copy this half of the kick pattern over to the second half. Just like, and now, just as easy as that, we have our kick pattern. Now, as I said, the 4th group, I'm going to use probably like a snare or a perk for this. Maybe a rim, actually. Let's try this sound right here. Now, the perk kind of contradicts the kick because you place these notes in the off beats rather than the on beats. So I'm going to make kind of a basic perk pattern right here with this sound. Something like that, where it fills out the drums a little bit more and gives you just another sound and layer on top of the other drums. So this is the pattern that I came up with right here. As you can see, the perk is just used to kind of fill out the drums a little bit and give some motion to the off beats. So yeah, I'm really liking the way this is going. And lastly, we're going to add everybody's favorite, the 808. You can use flex right here. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use 808 synth blasted, and I'm going to turn the cutoff down a little bit because there is some annoying high end on this 808 that I don't want. So I'm going to turn that down. Now, the 808 is used as a bass, and it's used to give your beat a little bit more bounce. Now, a very simple trick that you can use to make sure your 808s are in the right spot is just copy your kick pattern. So right here, I have my kick selected. All I have to do is hit Command C and then go down to my 808 piano roll and then Command V. It's just going to copy the exact pattern right here. Now, that is to make sure they're in the right place within the pattern. However, you're going to also need to make sure they're on the right note. So a way you can do this is go to your main bass melody. So mine is the Royal right here. And then just follow the bass notes of your main chords right here. So it would be the C for the first chord, and then the second chord, it'd be the F. So I'm going to go down to my 808. Actually, I'm going to fill out these notes. So to do that, do Control L. And then I'm just going to make sure they're on the right note. So conveniently, the first half of the 808s were on the right note as they were the C. But the second half is still on that C. So to put them on the right note, again, they need to go to this F down here. So what you can do to move these notes down all at once is select them like this, hold shift, and then push the down arrow until you get it to the right note. So now they're on the F. So just like that, you have your 808s on the right note, as well as the 808s in a decent spot because you copied the kick pattern. At its simplest form, this is how you're going to create your drums. And then just for the sake of this video, I changed my 808 notes up a little bit. I just put these ones down an octave, and then this one on the second half up an octave, just to give the 808 a little bit more personality. At the end here, I think I do want to add one more note. But yeah, I think I like the way that sounds, and that's how you make a beat from scratch. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would really appreciate if you left a like and possibly subscribed. If you're into improving the sound of your vocal mixes and just your music in general, then you should check out my website where I have 4 available vocal presets. One of them is completely free. It's called the Caleb James Lead Vocal Preset, and you can download that now. I'll put it as the first link in the description. But yeah, anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Whoa, and I know that I'm not wrong. I fell in between the words.